Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sporting Journey. Hope everybody's doing well. Just want to touch on a bit of an embarrassing situation at Man United, if you don't mind. Look, there's no secret that Ruben Amorim's basically said that Rashford, Gernocho, and Antony isn't in his plans. Now, the problem is, right, we've coming out with statements like, I'd rather put my 63-year-old goalkeeping coach on bench rather than Rashford. Coming up with statements like that, and then it comes back to bite you on bottom because, by all accounts, they're all back in training on Monday, and these three players in particular, who are in Amorim's plans, are going to be back in training, and is you should Amorim have kept his mouth shut, not said out in public. He kept it in house in case something like this, were going to happen. Because by all accounts, there has been clubs who want Marcus Rashford, but the problem is it's his wages. He's not willing to drop his wages. I think if Barcelona come in for him, he'd drop his wages then. But any other club, I don't think he will. And to be fair to Rashford, why would you? Do you know what I mean? If the club's offered him a contract, paying him 350 grand a week. It's sure that God that's on the club. You know what I mean? And Amorim's the one who's having to suffer with that now because no one's going to come in and pay Rashford 350 grand a week. They're just not going to do it. And it's come back to bite him on the backside. Coming out in the same stuff about Garnacho and stuff, come back to bite him on the backside. Why do I keep saying Jaden Antony? Not that Jaden Antony who plays for Bournemouth, but Jaden Antony, Antony who plays for Man United, should I say, bit different, you know what I mean? He yanked it up a stink, has he, about going and stuff like that, and I think it's a bit different with Antony. But with Garnacho and Rashford, you do know that when they come back to training, we're not back to training on Monday. You do know whether they're going under 23s training, they're going to cause so much trouble, and they're going to make Man United's life hard because they've been publicly humiliated by Amorim. So maybe managers should be a bit more careful with what they say. Now, I know Man United fans at the time were all brilliant. Amarim's done the right thing by coming out and saying it in public and stuff. But this time, I don't think it were wise because it's because of situations like this where eventually, if things don't go to plan, you've got to face them. And the only people who are laughing at this moment in time, I'm sorry to say, are Antony, Rashford, and Garnacho. They're still getting paid by Manchester United. They know that their wages are safe. So and Amorim's been made to look small. Maybe that's the inexperience of Amorim. I don't know, but I personally wouldn't have come out and said out about my players in public. I would have kept it in house. If I'm honest, I would have told him in house, look, your attitudes are wrong. You need to find yourself another. We will be helping you find another club come end of season. But he come out and said what he said, and now he's got to, he lives by the sword. He's got to die by that sword. So let's see how the atmosphere goes at Carrington on Monday when they all turn up for training. You know what I mean? I can't see any other way. I can't see any other way around it. It's just gonna have to grin and bear it, say hello to them through gritted teeth. That's all he can do. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let us know what you think in comments. Should Amorim have kept it in house, or are you still a big supporter like he come out and said what he said? It'd be interesting to get your thoughts, guys. It really would. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this edition of the Sporting Journey. Until next time, have a great day. Look after yourself. See you all soon. Bye bye.